Wow, that's. I wish I felt that way. That's another step in the right direction if he plays that way. I still think Keith is a big key. I think Keith and Travis had some really good parts of their game tonight. But Brandon, what he does add is he gives us that dimension that we can defend like we wanted to. His communication tonight, his cover-ups, they were so good. Now will that work on other teams? Who knows? Give Northwestern credit, but also realize, it's hard to come back when you have a team that doesn't have as much depth.
About 8 minutes to go in the game, you went to yell at Costello, and Appling did it before you did, and you stopped and smiled. Is that the best this team has communicated, Tom, in a long time?
Yeah, that was a good point, because Matt was, we had some subs in there that were not playing as well as I think they had to play, and I did have some players, even in the huddles, this team is starting to come back, I think the biggest issue was their confidence, they were rocked pretty good, and I think they lost some confidence in themselves, and it made it harder. And then you're trying to cover it up, and so does one game change all that? No, but it definitely was a giant step because of the way they did it. We went out and defended, got a running game going, played the way we want to play.
So when you look at the defense, Tom, how much of it is progress, and then how much you take into account, the fact that they were short-handed?
Yeah. I'm a 50-50, I definitely saw progress. It doesn't matter who we're playing. If you're communicating on screens and you're, if you're guarding stuff the way you're supposed to be guarding it, those are big positives. At the same time, I'm not ready to do cartwheels or talk about any championships. I'm just ready to go to the next game and see now if we can come back to back and get ourselves ready. The prep last night, I'll be honest with you, we prepped 90% for Iowa, like I'm sure the whole world did, and give Chris credit. But so when the game ended last night, we were doing the same thing Northwestern was doing. We're almost, prepping in a few hours, and our guys were great. And that was one of the other encouraging things, because I think that speaks well for tonight, for tomorrow. We'll see if we can handle it tonight on a late night deal, and don't have as much time tomorrow, but I think it'll be. I think we'll get some stuff done.
Did that week of prep help as much or even more than you thought it would go?
Every time they play together right now, it's helping more, and we're really spent a lot of time on film to show them, what they're doing and why the communication and the missed switches and the different things have hurt us, and I think that's, but the one-on-one defense was better tonight too. We didn't have to rely totally on help. Guys check guys, and I'll tell you, Crawford and some of those guys are not easy to cover either. And so, as I said, it's one step. I'm not going to go home and take the night off because I think we're back. But I think it's what the doctor ordered. It's what you need to happen, and it gives us a little kind of resolve to say, hey, like Brandon. Brandon's worked hard on his jump shot. He really has. You guys are there sometimes when he's staying after and he's doing things he hasn't done in the past. But his jump shot didn't make his game tonight. It was the tip-ins, it was the defense, it was the rebounding, it was the running. And that you should be able to do on a night-in, night-out basis.
Appling really got into dumps a couple times.
He did.
Was he a little better that way and pushing it?
Definitely better pushing it. You saw him get out of control a couple times because it's almost like I've never seen him come down when he was going against with the little Sobolewski. And, usually it's a juke one way and it's around. And he was telling everything to juke, and nothing was juking, and he just kind of went in and got a jump ball. That you don't see very often from Keith. And those are the things that I think there's just not a comfort level yet back, and some of that is just doing it. But he took some falls, and, one time I think he hit the wrist a little bit, and he said he was okay. So I think that'll be a confidence thing for him, too, to be honest with you.
Tom, this game, you may have been asked this, but I didn't know you had snuck in here. The game against Wisconsin, not necessarily a revenge game, but more so to play them with a full complement of players.
Well, that's true. But we're both completely different teams. That team couldn't shoot the ball in the ocean, if you remember. They're such a good shooting team, and Brust was, I think, my memory serves me, like 4 for 19 from the three in that couple of weeks, and he hits that one against us. But And he's hitting a lot of them now. You know, they're just a better team. Kaminsky's a better player than he was. I mean, I think we're a better team too, for a variety of reasons. But they're really playing well, and they've been playing together this whole season, and they will work their way up the ladder. Then they had their little 5 out of 6 game glitch, and those same guys have stuck together. So they're good. They're worthy of their possible #1 seed, I think.
Costello had 5 points, but he was doing stuff defensively and hustling. I know
He was better, tipped a few loose. You know, he got us, believe it or not, Schilling tipped a couple balls loose that we got buckets out of. You know, that's what we got to get out of those guys, you know. And the thing I do feel good about is, you know, it wasn't like we were great, because AP had one of his worst games, and some of that was them, some of that was a foul trouble. But, you know, I think he'll play better tomorrow too.
Well, Hayes did some good things against you, but really playing well now.
Yeah.
Is that something that you could put Dawson on him? I think he'd probably be on Decker a lot, I guess, but
Well, they're funny now. I haven't seen enough tape of them now, but
they went big some tonight.
they did go big some, and they did that a little bit. And before that, though, most of the time, he was a sub at the center. And so, you know, but if they do go big, we definitely can put a Dawson on there. And, you know, I just think Brandon, and we can go big too, you know. I mean, that's one thing about our team. We can do both. But, you know, Decker wasn't shooting it great when we played him. Rust wasn't. Those guys are playing better now, so it'll be a different game.
When you play Wisconsin, they obviously try to slow it down, slug fest. Is the key tempo tomorrow night?
You know, I never like to say it is, because I don't think you can. Since I've been in the league, you know, it was whether it was the coach before Bo or him, it's been kind of a similar trend. And you know, I had those times when you tried to push it, and then you just say, you know what, I learned that I can play whatever way they want to play, because you are not speeding them up very often. I mean, I've seen teams press them, does it work? I've seen teams zone them. I've seen teams do different things. I don't think you can really change. He's very good at it. It's one of their strengths. They don't turn it over because they don't make a lot of mistakes, because they don't take a lot of chances. They're not going to get sped up very often. Once in a while, Jackson gets sped up on his own. But other than that, you know, they'll still run some now. They'll run a little bit more than they used to. But if you stop their break, it's going to be patient, and they're going to get some things done.
The rhythm on both sides of the court for your team, was that something that you feel like?
Yeah, it was really important. I mean, yeah, I mean, we really, I mean, that's probably the best word I can use right now. The two best words for me are confidence and rhythm. You know, we had to get some confidence back, and you have to get rhythm. I mean, I think it's why in those games we had 16 turnovers in 3 straight games, and we got everybody back. And I think some of that was the rhythm and playing together. But I think those two things are going to be really important for us now. No matter what happens here the rest of the weekend, we just got to keep building on it. But it should be a heck of a game tomorrow, you know. I hope it is, because our guys, I know, are looking forward to playing a real good team and kind of see where we are.